Get inspired! Here are 31 gorgeous DIY projects to decorate your grown-up apartment, Part 1. 1. Use fabric, medium, and acrylic paint to turn a cheap remnant rug into a custom statement piece. You can usually find remnant rugs at Home Depot or Lowe's. Just ask for what they might have in stock. Prepare the remnant rug and the shape templates. After each shape is printed, I cut out the new cardboard template. I used a foam brush to apply the mixed color paint to the shapes on the rug. A couple hours here is the result. To brighten it up, I started painting around the edges of the pattern using a smaller paintbrush and some custom mixed turquoise paint. And here is the finished rug looks like. 2. Adhere some gold leaf to canvas pillow covers to make statement pillows. You can find the complete DIY tutorial at the Gathered Home blog. Although you might want to paint a pre-made cover instead of using fabric glue to make your own. 3. Modernize your childhood dresser with a fresh coat of paint and new hardware. If you don't have a convenient flea market near you, eBay actually has quite a few good finds. First, I sanded the dressers and all the drawers until they were nice and smooth. After that, I primed them both and then painted them both with oil-based paint. And if you don't want to buy new dresser pulls, you can spray paint the current ones metallic gold. 4. Paint and frame 4 doormats for a faux wood headboard. Here's how you do it. First, paint the mats. Spray paints work best. Cut a piece of plywood the size you want your headboard to be. Paint or stain the plywood. Attach your mats to the plywood. Trim out the piece to finish things off, and done. 5. Nail salvaged wood together for a minimal but warm headboard. There are 2 parts in this DIY project, which you could find at 508. Check out the link in this video description below. 6. Dumpster dive for an old door and paint it a fun color. First, find an old door, paint it, and let it dry. Drill 2 holes to attach the actual headboard to the metal bed frame. Once the holes were in place, we attached the 2 pieces together with the screws and bolts. Now, we had a headboard. You might consider skipping the doorknob though, so you don't accidentally slam your head against it when you wake up from a bad dream. 7. Turn a 1x1 cubby into a sleek side table. This would work in your bedroom or next to your sofa. Here's the material you will need. First, use the drill to create holes on the markings just big enough for the legs to screw into while being snug. Twist each leg in and you're finished. Easy peasy. 8. Screw some hairpin legs to a stained or painted crate, and you'll get a little more bookshelf space as a bonus. I applied the stain in the rag and in some spots directly on the wood. Once the stain dried, I wrapped the gold string around the handles of the crate for a touch of bling and textural interest. Next, I used my drill and screws and attached the hairpin legs to the underside of my crate. Simply leaned it up against the wall and screwed the back of the crate into the wall so it'll stay put. And there you have it. 9. Or you can build your own wooden top for your hairpin legs. Here's how you do it. First, sand your boards in the direction of the grain until it felt smooth. Stain your boards and use gloves to apply the stain to the wood and to wipe off the excess. Apply clear coat. Give it a couple of hours to dry and apply it to the other side. Assemble your side table. Nail the top 2 boards to the long edge of the sideboards and repeat on the bottom. I pre-drilled pilot holes and screwed the legs on with screws. And here's what it looks like when it finished. 10. Cover a boring mirror with a fabric that you love. Here is the instruction. Step 1. I started by attaching my wood veneer to the outer edge of the mirror frame. Used painter's tape to hold the veneer on while the glue dried. Step 2. To deepen the wood tone of the veneer, I stained it with early American wood stain. Step 3. For the fabric strips, I started by cutting a strip and lined up the 2 strips to trim the excess fabric at the ends. Step 4. Sprayed the back of each fabric with glue and then pressed. Use your fingers on the fabric to make sure there were no bubbles or wrinkles. The result is amazing. 11. Warm up your entryway with an Anthropologies-like paper flower garland. It's an inexpensive way to deal with that big blank wall. First, prepare all the items here. Trim all flowers and leaves. With edge of scissors, curl each petal. Fold leaf in half, then curl both edges. Glue tab on yellow flowers and attach to edge so petals curl inward. Do the same with white flowers. Glue tab on large flowers and attach to edge so petals curl outward. Arrange flowers in rows and divide the leaves. To tread twine through embroidery needle, tape both sides of the end of twine. Trim off excess tape and push thin tape tip through the needle. String flowers onto twine. Integrate leaves between some of the flowers. Hang branch on wall and tie each strand onto branch, spacing evenly. Adjust flowers on twine, spacing evenly, and add a bit of glue to keep them in place. Trim off excess twine on both top and bottom of strand. And there you have it. 12. Cover an ugly planter in pretty rocks for your front steps. So maybe you don't have a wraparound porch, but that doesn't mean what you do have has to be boring. Here's how you do it. First, apply a thick layer of thin-set mortar, then cutting the mesh tile with a box cutter and layering the tile on the outside of the bucket. Add the river rock pebbles on the mesh tiles and let it dry. The next evening, I mixed up some grout, added it with a putty knife, then removed excess with a sponge. After finished, this what it looks like. 13. Pick out some tough fabric and sew a slipcover for a utility bucket. This is the material you will need. First, take off the bucket handle and measure the top of the bucket. Mark out the foam with your ruler and cut it. Spray glue on the bucket and foam. Cut around the edges of the foam with the lid glued to it. Trim any extra pieces. Take Decor and spray it with glue to the top of the bucket. Measure and draw out the longest side of your pattern and mark the center. Cut the piping fabric wide and the top piece in circle. Fold the fabric in half and clip the middle top corner. Sew in the piping with welt foot. With side panel folded, sew from the top down. Sew the two pieces together. Test fit the fabric to make sure it fits smoothly. Remove the fabric and cut the extra fabric around the edges. Pull the fabric over the ottoman again, rotate it, and staple it. Cut off the extra fabric. Dust cover for the bottom, and voila! It's done! 14. Cover an old pallet with foam, batting, and fabric for a custom living room ottoman. Enlist a couple of friends or roommates to help you out with the tufting. First, prepare a pallet. After the pallet ready, add plywood to the bottom side. I nailed the plywood onto the base and sanded the top of the plywood and along the outside edges. Next, I cut a thick foam to the exact size of the top of the pallet before secure it with a thin plywood. Sew the fabric onto the foam and then upholster it to the pallet. Attach the brackets to hold the legs of the half-finished ottoman, and it's done! 15. Add simple legs to an IKEA tabletop for a mid-century style coffee table, if you prefer to skip the cushioned ottoman. It's cheap and you could probably put it together in an afternoon. What you will need. Tape half of each leg off with painter's tape. Spray paint the legs and let the paint dry. Take off the tape. Take each of the leg plates and position them in the corners. Drill the plates in. They come with screws. Twist the legs in. And you got a nice mid-century coffee table with ease. That's all for now. Before you leave, spare a few seconds to like and share this video with your friend. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updated videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.